How's it going, YouTube? op.poker James here. So today we're doing a session review of Potato Skill 47, also known as Patate over in our Discord channel. They are playing the $2 stakes, spin and goes, and I think we're watching a free X multiplier. So this is going on during the Tetris promotion. Now, with these Tetris promos, I think some of the games are a little bit different in terms of how the recreational players are playing. But I think on the free X multipliers, the just standard ones, I think they're playing in a standard way. So I think this should be good to look at. I think I recognize another player on the table, but we can talk about that later. Let's jump in and see what it's like. Okay, so I do think I recognize this player, Valera0008, but I'm not sure where from. Maybe someone in the chat could tell me that. Anyway, let's see how it goes. I know it's a free X multiplier already, sorry to spoil it. But yeah, I just went to check what this game's like. Okay. So very first hand, we've already got someone we can mark as a recreational. I don't know how many times I've been through it, but we'll say it again. If you're limping on the button 95 out of 100 times, these players are recreational players. So you can just right click, label them a color to remind yourself that these are the kind of people you want to be in pots against. You can raise them a little bit wider. You can go to post flop with them a little bit wider. You can, do all sorts of different exploitative plays. You need to worry less about balance when you're playing these people, so that's really why you want to make those labels so you know what to do. Anyway, we've got a limp, we've got king 8 off, which we overlimped. I'm fine with that, and we've got a check. On the flop, we've hit an 8, but the two people act behind us. Now, betting is okay, but really when you're playing micro and low stakes, the important thing is don't get yourself in too many tough spots. The goal here always should be, let's not make any big mistakes. And leading out here can create those kind of issues. Building the pot with not very strong hands out of position against two other opponents can lead you into some weird paths. So I would suggest just keeping it nice and simple, checking it over to the opponents. And there you go. It's gone from a hard spot where if you were to lead out and face a raise or a calls, maybe both calls, you never know. Whereas now you checked, see a bet and a raise. It's a fairly easy fold if you don't have a jack. I think if you have a jack, you've got to continue, but anything else, anything worse, easy fold, I would say, being out of position to this. Okay, looks like stacks are flying. They both have a jack. Okay. I wouldn't say there's too much to mark from it from the big blind's perspective. What I would say is if Don in Wales is limping jack 6 off from the button, you've got a very good note here that they are playing too many hands from the button. And what that means you can do is you can raise them wider. You can raise for value wider against their limps. So, yeah. 8-9 suited, we're playing freeways. That's okay. It's kind of hand that you don't mind playing freeway, especially in position. But you're facing a half pot bet. We're just going to fold. No need to play these spots. I think Don in Wales is the most likely person to have hit a 4 or a 3 here. So it's fairly within reason to just let it go. Looks like you're having trouble to make the fold, but this should be a very, very simple, easy fold here. Just given the fact that your range is going to be fairly tight, your opponent in the small blind you would expect is tight, but we're not sure yet. And we know Don in Wales already played too many hands from the button. Who's to say that they wouldn't play too many hands from the big blind as well? So that would have lots of frees in it compared to you two. Anyway, looks like they're going at it again. Okay, 7-5 was their hand. I'm guessing this guy had a 4, but we don't know. So having 7-5 suited here is generally, I would say, not a good idea. I think that's too wide. So I think both players now are playing too wide. I would make the recreational mark here. If they flat called a hand like 7-6 suited, I think that's okay because you have seen Donny Wales play too many hands. So overcalling and then trying to be in the pot against maybe a recreational player, I guess that's okay. But 7-5 suited, that's just too wide at this point. Too wide. We've got a pigeon mark, okay. I guess pigeon means recreational. Let me just go through the action. So they 3x'd. I like calling with 10-8 in position. Yeah, nice. They check. We got a gut shot on the flop. Now, you could bet that, and it's a very easy bet, and then fold, given how they've been playing. But checking behind is also fairly okay and easy to play. 2. I personally would go for a bet and think about barreling some non-high card turns. I think it's very often if someone 3x's here and then checks on a board like this, I'm expecting them to have a lot of ace high, king high type hands that maybe are sticky on the flop, but once you start betting again on the turn, I think they're out of there. So that's what I would do personally. However, you've played it like this. When the turn board pairs, it's going to be hard to get them to fold those kind of ace high, king high hands to start with. But I guess same principle can be applied where if you bet turn and you bet river, so you go all in on the river, they're probably going to fold by that point. Yeah, I think shoving is the only play you want to make here. Hope that they have hit a 6 or a 7 or a 9 and call you, or a 4. But I think the likelihood is that they just had 2 high cards there. I think they're going to fold there very, very often. I guess because you're playing a recreational player, you could go very, very small and try and induce something. But I don't like that. I think just keep it simple. Ace 9 against kings. Are we about to be heads up? No, we're not. Okay. More free-handed poker. 10-4, easy fold. We got a raise and a... Oh my word, what is going on? What is going on? I don't know. I don't know what to say about this pot. Okay. All right. Given how pre-flop ran out, you would expect these guys to have high pocket pairs, both of them. But I guess we'll see. Let's see what they actually had. Queen 10. Wow, what the frick is he doing? Right, yeah, I'm expecting both players to have a hand like aces, kings, queens, jacks. That's how they played it. Here I was thinking Donny Wales was the outrageous one. Valera went next level crazy there. So if they are in our Discord, what's going on here? What's going on? But maybe come over and explain the play. They had aces 2 hands in a row. Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, we don't mind being a heads up against either of those players. So let's try and crush this heads up. Jack 5 suited. Let's go. Sorry, Jack 5 offsuit. Limp fold should be the play. Nice. 9-4 off. Don't really want to play that against a raise. Jack 7 suited. Go for a raise here. I think it's okay to limp as well. I kind of prefer limping these kind of hands against opponents, especially when they've been doing bit more free betting, bit more aggressive. I think when stacked pot ratios are really, really high, your opponents are going to make much worse decisions. Like, I think they will end up stacking off too wide. So I prefer keeping it small, trying to hit a flush and then building the pot up myself with some big bets. Anyway, this was a raised pot and betting the flop. I'm okay with that, yeah. You could occasionally check behind, especially if they're like a station, but we haven't got that mark on our opponent yet. 8-3 suited, we're just going to fold. Good to note that they did pot bet here. Not saying that the pot bet is bad or anything, but just note the kind of sizings your opponent might use. Especially as a recreational player, you're going to get some interesting sizings from them. If they, for example, bet half pot here, I don't mind continuing with ace-5, but because you don't have any redraws here, because they're betting big, I'm just folding here. I'm just letting it go and waiting for opportunities to see what they have in an easier, better fashion. You've picked up a gut shot. I guess really now you're just trying to get to showdown, but I think for the most part it's going to be hard to win. You've hit a pair, so now you do beat 4x, which is nice. Hands with a 4 in, but against the queen, against the jack, against the king, you lose. I don't think they're going to have a king too often. But yeah, there's no way out. Now you got a call, and they show you the bad news. I don't like the call on the flop, so I think it is pretty much dumping money. If you have ace-5 of diamonds, or you have ace-5 of spades, or you have ace-5 of hearts, you can probably make an argument to call those because you got the back doors to the nuts, right? But without that, I just think your hand is too weak. You probably want to make a note though that they're leading out middle pair, no kicker. Often it means if they're going to check to you, once you've got players like this who are leading out, when they check to you, they're going to be very, very weak. So you can make lots of small size bets just to get lots of folds, easy folds. Anyway, raining really heavily outside. Don't know if that's picking up on the mic. I guess it doesn't matter. Nice soothing ASMR effects on this stream, on this channel. Okay, again, they are leading out. This time it was a, 2-4-10 board, and you've got jack free. Now this spot is a spot where I'm much more inclined to stick around, but if they bet pot, no way, no way. Let's say they bet one big blind, I think it's okay to call or raise, because any 5, any ace, any 6 gives you a straight draw, any club gives you a flush draw, any jack gives you a top pair. So I think that's enough reasons. Yeah, I think that one's a closer one than the ace-5 you had. They're being really aggressive at the moment, but I wouldn't have changed the thing to Maniac Whale yet. They didn't do anything that maniacal. They had middle pair and they bet the flop and the river on a king, queen, jack 5-4 board. That's not really maniacal to me. They had aces twice. They have been betting, but you haven't seen what they had. The sample, I think, is too small to change this label. Really, you want to see them do some really odd plays before you make a label like that, because you could be adjusting a bit too much. They are leading out again, but this is the first time they didn't lead out for a pot sizing. Now, this to me screams weakness, but even in this case, I would prefer to have something here. This hits my range okay, an okay amount. We've got one of the worst hands, I guess, in our range. We just haven't really hit that board at all. So I would still fold, but I would make a mental note and awareness about this. I would be far more likely to attack this in general, just not with complete air. I think you can get, these are the spots where if you start raising here because you're trying to exploit, it's just getting too far out of line and you can be making very big mistakes. We don't want to do that. Like I said, learning and beating these low stakes and micro stakes spin and goes, it's all about not making huge mistakes. So starting to bluff with 9-5 is not going to be a good idea, which I feel like you almost, okay, good, you didn't do it. I was getting the feeling that you might. But yeah, maybe it does feel like you're getting run over, but whatever, it's okay. Limp trapping the king jack, I like that. If you're really feeling like they're just trying to run you over, just trap as much as you can to allow that to occur, like to allow them to do some silly stuff. Maybe we're about to see something silly. No, they had pocket sevens. So again, still, we haven't actually seen them do anything showdown wise that's been bad. And I think the sample size is too small to label them recreational. Anyway, they had sevens, we had king jack. It's all good. We won the flip. Queen jack. Yeah, I don't mind limp calling. You could, I guess, limp shove this as well. Wow, that's a big bet. Yeah, limp calling makes much more sense now that you see them doing these big bets. Yeah, I think I much prefer it. I think they're going to be missing out on a lot of value. Jack 9 suited, I'm glad you didn't shove. Good. I would take this post flop because of we're seeing what they're up to. We want to allow them to play bad post flop. Their sizings really is what's bad so far, I would say. You're checking all the way, okay. I would definitely raise. I just don't expect them to have a flush. Maybe once in a blue moon they're going to have queen jack. But yeah, I'm looking to raise because I think a 6 will call. A 6 does have a straight here. So I would be raising. I don't expect my opponent to slow play the flush. Why are you folding? What's going on? What was that? That scared me. Yeah, I would be raising here, trying to get value from a 6. I just think my opponent just won't want to be folding to it. I would just make it 4.5 or 5 big blinds, just looking for pure value. If I get shoved on, I'd call. I just don't expect them to check back on the turn with a flush. So they had pocket 2s. Do we get much from that? Bluffing the river with 2s does seem a bit silly. No, I'm okay with it. All right, you're pulling it back now. 8-4 off. I'll go for a limp. Looks like you've decided they're a maniac when in actuality, showdown hands that we've seen, they haven't really been that crazy from what we've seen. From the hands they actually had, from what we've seen, they haven't done too much craziness. So I would still be limping a hand like 8-4 off. Ace queen shoving here. You could make a smaller sizing if you think you can get away with it. If you want to play them post flop, think they're going to call a lot, you could do that with ace queen. I'm just trying to offer some other options if you're interested. 6-2. So why are you limping 6-2 but you didn't want to limp 8-4? 8-4 is a lot stronger hand than 6-2. Yeah, what's that about? I think you should try and make your mind up about what and how you're playing and why. Yeah, definitely want to bet. They've been leading out so often. First time they've actually checked, I expect their range to be very, very weak. Occasionally some big traps, but mostly very, very weak. I think we can just take that down so often. 5-3, just let it go. 8-4. Okay, now we're going to limp it. Okay. They check, we bet, expect loads of folds. Yeah, I think that Maniac tag was maybe a little premature. I think they just had a good run of cards overall. 9-5 suited. You go for the raise. Yeah, I think that's fine. I kind of like limping this hand, trying to play post flop against them. Kind of similar to the Jack 7 spot. 7-5, we call their min raise. I don't mind folding, to be honest with you. I think their min raise range probably on the stronger side of things. so I don't mind folding. Limp trapping the ace jack, I like it. They've got king queen, just a standard one then. Damn, unlucky. But yeah, overall, I think clearly you're the better opponent of these two players. I couldn't believe this queen 10 aces hand. It was just crazy. Where is it? What is going on? Yeah, not the one. Yeah, if you've got people in your player pool consistently doing hands like this, they will do it against you as well, so it's all good. Yeah, potato skill. I hope you just keep grinding, not making any big mistakes, and I'm sure we'll see you at the 5s and higher in no time. Anyway, over the next few weeks, we've got a few more session reviews coming out. So if you want to hit the subscribe button so you know when they go live, we got some small stakes ones, and we got some spin and go max session review coming out as well. So if you're interested, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're looking for more like concrete content, like charts, pre-flop ranges, all this stuff, we do have a low stakes spin and go course. It's really designed for people who are playing the $5 plus stakes though. But yeah, if you're looking for ways upon which to learn and get a solid idea of pre-flop and how to play post-flop from each of the positions, give it a look. There are plenty of reviews of it on our website, so you can read what other people think about it. Otherwise, come over to our Discord channel and just ask any questions if you are thinking about purchasing. What I would say is Patate is often over in our spin and go hand history section, posting hand histories and commenting on what they thought as well. I would say that this is one of the best ways and cheapest ways to get good at spin and goes. Just come over to our Discord channel, use the hand history converter. If you don't know what we're talking about, hand history converter, just click on the links that are underneath these hand histories. It will show you how to convert the hands. If you're playing on different sites that don't allow the hand history converter, there are other ways you can take screenshots, whatever, and we can discuss those hands, give some input on there. There you go, you got Patate who's chatting in there today as well. But yeah, this is one of the best ways to get good at poker. Is just getting involved with other spin and go players, just talking about hands, trying to basically figure out in the spots that really confuse you. Often for other people, it's not confusing at all. It's just a spot that maybe you've had run bad in repeatedly, and then you start questioning things. That's normally what's happened in a lot of these hand history spots. People are asking things and they've just been, their thought process might have been skewed because they keep losing with kings, for example. They don't know whether they should be value betting with kings on boards like this. But yeah, hope to see you in there. We've got plenty of good players here that can give you help, that play low stakes, mid stakes, even high stakes. So yeah, hope to see you in there. Anyway, till the next video, peace.